Hi everyone, and welcome to Reed's Read, Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. I'm your host, of course, Ryan Reed. Been a while since I've done any Crawl Space reviews. You know, many things have happened in the last year, which caused me to leave comics for a while, but I'm kind of back. I've been slowly moving my reviews back up in the old digital written form, and now time has allowed me, thanks to being summer and a few other things, that I can now, of course, record my video reviews again. So I decided to do it instead of my big giant green room here to actually do a little work here in my little comic collection behind me. So let's get with today's reviews. Believe it or not, I did read Amazing Spider-Man number 14. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that one, as my camera kind of wonders why I even talked about it. And of course, my all-new, all-different Avengers. So let's get into Amazing Spider-Man number 14 with the pros. I love the cover by Alex Ross. I mean, it's just great. I've always loved his work. And then actually, believe it or not, I like the fact that both Iron Man and Spider-Man kind of gotten their act together to fight the Regent. I mean, they actually, after being man boys arguing and a few other things, they finally come up with some ideas to work together, of course, to fight Regent, but of course get defeated like anybody else. And that completely leads right to the cons, everybody. I have no problem that the Regent used Miles Morales' Venom scene to take out, Ms. Marvel, then her shape-shifting powers to take out Nova, and I love the "Go home, Nova, you're drunk" meme, which was kind of funny, but then after that, it got ridiculous. I mean, outside the Vision and Regent using the powers of the other Avengers and the Ghosts to take care of it, it just got worse and worse. I mean, the battle with Thor is shown off screen. We didn't see any other fights or anything else. Of course, the Wasp's not even mentioned, and she just got back into the group. And then, of course, then we have everything going on from Harry on, "Oh, I know who the Regent is, yeah." And every other things with going on with... It's a mess. It's absolutely a mess. I don't know what's going on. Dan Slott is doing connect the dots storytelling so big time, it's ridiculous. I mean, some things are just not making sense. Some people are being completely oblivious to unsense, and I get it. The Regent is the anti-Iron Man. I get his motivation. He, both heroes and villains fighting, superpower villains is horrible. So he's that kind of villain where he's completely in the middle, where he doesn't want to take over the world, but he doesn't want heroes or villains, and he feels if he has all the powers, then life will just be great in the world, and blah blah blah. And it's just not a good story. It just really is not. I give it a D-. I really just, it was so hard reading this book. I'm sorry, it just was horrible. Because Mary Jane's going to save the day, right? Yeah, if she's written correctly, I don't know. All right. All different Avengers. Let's get right into the story with the pros. First of all, I love the fact that Mark Waid is actually picking up on the story threads that have been going on with Nova for the last couple years. I've never been a regular reader of his book, but I've been following the storyline about him trying to figure out where his missing father is and everything. And I did like that finally Nova says, you know what, I've tried, I can't find Dad. I got a bunch of friends. I have a superhero team. I'm going to ask them for help. And I really like that the Avengers team now is willing to do that, even though Nova's new to the group, he's young, everybody does know what his life is like, they're willing to help him, and it's so nice. I love the work, especially with Miles. Miles does some great jokes. First of all, like, "Oh, I'm in space. I've been in space. I've been in other universes. I've traveled through time. Space, whatever." Meanwhile, Ms. Marvel's like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, space, we're in space, this is so cool, I like it. OMG." But it's really nice. I love one thing about Mark Waid plays off everything, especially with Miles, being kind of the mid-season villain with the more pro villains like, Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Iron Man and everything. And I do like once they actually land on the prison planet, how they actually use their smarts really well. And I love how Iron Man does, also doing really good. I mean, his portrayal here and in his main book is so in character. Yet I don't know why he has to be portrayed as such a jerk in the new Civil War book or in Spider-Man right now, where he's coming off as really very whiny and bratty. Meanwhile, Mark Waid writes him great in All New Avengers, and he works pretty well in his own book, which Brian Bendis writes himself. So I don't understand that. And I really do like how Miles actually comes to the rescue a couple times once they get transported to the prison planet and telling Ms. Marvel and the other people, no, don't do it. It's really bad. I'm not saying this as I'm scared, is that we've been through it and we need to rethink our battle. He's being so straightforward. And when the end gets revealed that Annihilus is really behind everything and they're on Hive World, I really like it because that's a story thread that's picked up from Jonathan Hickman's Avengers that's really not been touched or played with. So that was really cool. Cons-wise is I mean, I don't have a lot of cons for this. Artwork is very good. The story flows really well. I know this is part of a crossover, and we'll get part 2 in the main Nova book before this concludes in another week here in the main Avengers book with Miles, still front and center. But I really like that Mark Waid, even though I review this book because of Miles Morales, keeps a nice balance with all the characters. I mean, I love some of the work with the Wasp and everything, but I do feel like there is a lot trying to go on with the book right now, especially with Civil War coming up, and I feel like Mark Waid is really trying to just get to the story finish, because I know this has been a plot he's been wanting to get to for a while. Same thing with Mark Gunman from the main Nova book. So I'm happy about that, but I do feel like they're rushing in a little bit, trying to get the story one out so we can be caught in the great, wonderful crossover. Hooray! So that's my only real cons here. Art by Adam Kubert is really nice. It's very solid. It's very clean. I'm really enjoying this book. But I'll give it a B+. It was a very good story. I love the fact that they made everything really intro good, and I love the little teaser with the nega bands for Captain Marvel that are powering the portal, and Annihilus is using because he does have a history of that. So those are my reviews, everybody. Thank you for being so patient and wanting me back in. I hope to be delivering these again on a regular basis. I will review Amazing Spider-Man 15. Oh boy. But I'll also be revealing Daredevil in a couple weeks for the crossover with Spider-Man, and of course the conclusions and the Civil War 2 crossovers for all new and different Avengers. See you in the crawl space, everybody.